I'm Joe Burke from PopXCast, a proud member of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the show you're listening to now. The opinions expressed are those of each individual host. Check out all of our podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com and get ready because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
You are listening to the Starling Tribune, a podcast dedicated to the Arrow TV show.
I am the Green Arrow.
This podcast is not produced or maintained by the CW, Warner Brothers Television, CTV, or DC Comics. All characters, situations, and stories are the properties of Time Warner. I am the Oracle, and this is your Tribune.
Welcome back to Earth 2's favorite newspaper, the Starling Tribune. I am the chief editor tonight. My name is SP, and your other award-winning reporters for this special episode number 208 of the Starling Tribune are Chris.
I am gonna kick my ass.
Neil McDonough did great in this episode. I can't wait to talk about it. And Michelle.
We allow light to moderate theft on this ship. We like to call them souvenirs.
I, for a second there, thought Mick was going to break Wally's head off his body. Glad that didn't happen. This podcast is recorded on Thursday, August 30th, 2018, live on geeks.live.
That's right, and this evening we'll be discussing Legends of Tomorrow, as well as news, interviews, articles, and announcements that have dropped in the last week that could impact future episodes of Legends, as well as the greater CW superhero universe, including things like The Flash, Supergirl, Arrow, Vixen, Constantine, and God knows what else they come up with.
If you're new to the show, thank you for searching us out on the internet and joining us. After the show, you can check out our content at GonnaGeek.com, where you can also find other geeky videos, podcasts, and articles.
Thanks, guys. Michelle, let's go ahead right into it. And why don't you break down the current episode for us?
This episode is called No Country for Old Dads. It's Season 3, Episode 13. It originally aired Monday, March 5th, 2018. Directed by Viet Nguyen. Did 3 iZombies, 1 Legend, 1 Dynasty, 1 Flash. Kido Shimizu. Credits include 9 Legends, 11 Arrow, 1 Flash. And James Egan, who's written 4 Legends and was the staff writer on Ash vs. Evil Dead and Avatar, The Last Airbender.
We're going to go take a time travel back to the week that this episode was aired in March 2018. Legends of Tomorrow aired on Monday, the 5th of March, to a total rating, and this is live plus 7 DVR, so this is all the rating that it's going to get, of 2.05. On Tuesday, the following day, on the 6th of March, Flash aired the 15th episode of the 4th season, titled Enter Flash Time, to a total rating of 3.87, almost double of what Legends of Tomorrow got. And then following the Flash, Black Lightning aired the 7th episode of their first season, Equinox, The Book of Fate, with a total rating of 2.48. And Thursday, the 8th of March, Arrow, with the 15th episode of the 6th season, aired the episode Doppelganger with a total rating of 2.15. Guys, this was a good week for CW DC comic book shows. I know it's 7-day ratings, but still, these are good. They're all above 2. That's a good week.
I'll take it.
Yeah, the key thing about Arrow is Roy Harper returns.
Oh, so this was the last episode. No. This was him returning, so it wasn't the last. Okay, I got it. All right. So, Michelle, we often talk about the episode that we are talking about, which in this case is Legends of Tomorrow, No Country for Old Dads. And we start with the overall theme, which we attribute to the title, No Country for Old Dads. So what do you got? What's that all about?
Well, in this episode, it's the father-daughter relationship of Damien and Nora. And it's very interesting. It takes place in Berlin, but it's almost like it doesn't matter where it takes place. We get Ray and Nora doing like this sort of romantic comedy bickering thing. And then Nora and Damien are arguing all the time. You know, she's like, I want to make my dad proud. And he's all like, I'm already proud of her. One of my favorite parts of this is Damien doing a talk to the dead corpse of Ray's former boss.
Yes, that one was hilarious.
It was hilarious. I had a love-hate relationship with that because on one hand, I believe we stated this at the time that it wasn't necessary to kill him, but at the same time, it was kind of hilarious for Damien to be talking to a dead guy.
Kind of felt sorry for Ray because when it starts, people only notice that he's gone because the dishes haven't been done and all that type of stuff. And I'm
whoa, time out. I need Ray to come to my house. Can Ray come to my house? I will pay you.
I don't know. I don't, to me, that's the part of this episode. I know this is strange, but Ray's an original legend. The fact that they didn't really miss him until then, I mean, I think that's a bit harsh.
It is a bit harsh, but he has been spending an awful lot of time down in the lab, down at the bottom of the ship, and he has not been part of the main group except for when there's something big going on. So I could see if there's not something big going on where they would not really care that he wasn't there because they would be assuming that he was doing something down in the lab.
That tracks to me. I mean, Ray's been in the lab a lot, so I guess more the thought is they're only really seeing him when he comes out to get his coffee with butter and to do the dishes, which is his stress relief from developing things in the lab. So I'm not sure it's as negative as it might have come off the way they didn't notice he wasn't there.
Okay, guys, that's something else that we got to talk about. Butter in coffee. I would never think of that. I would, gross.
Supposedly it's really good.
Have you done it?
I haven't done it.
I
can't make myself do it.
Yuck.
I can't either. Maybe it depends on the butter. I mean, it's Ray. Maybe it's some sort of organic grass-fed, something,
he
whatever
did talk
type
about
of butter.
Grass-fed butter, and when I did a quick Google search, the first thing was, what benefits are there of putting coffee in your butter? And it says grass-fed butter is rich in omega-3s, beta-carotene, antioxidants, and vitamins A, K, D, and E.
How much fat does it have in it?
I have no idea.
A lot.
Well, the next question is butter and coffee healthy?
Okay, that's a good question because a little bit of caffeine is okay, right? But a lot of caffeine, like if you're drinking 3 pots a day, you are over caffeinated and you're going to have an early heart attack. It is not healthy for you.
Heck if I know. Maybe I'll try it someday, but not anytime.
You let us know how you like it.
We have to make a pact that we'll all try it at some point in time, so that.
No, you said you were going to go do it. So I'm expecting a report.
This is a team bonding exercise right here.
Okay, I'll do it.
Team building exercise. I swear I'm going to do it. We have to do it on camera on a show.
Yes, that's what we'll have to do. We'll have to make some coffee. We'll be on there. We'll add a little different types of butter.
Listener, you need to provide us with butter coffee recipes because I'm not doing this. If there's some way to make it better without adding a ton of sugar.
Supposedly it's good. It's got to be unsalted butter, it says.
Real butter, or can it be like
unsalted grass-fed butter?
Unsalted grass-fed.
It's going to be that expensive stuff. That's going to cost like $6 just in butter.
It's going to be an expensive show.
Yeah, we need to start a Patreon to do butter coffee on here.
Oh my gosh. But really, this episode is just, when Neil McDonough let him loose, the younger version, 1962, no magic, shaggy hair.
Epic hair.
Yes, epic hair. Assassin for hire, going to shoot the guy who invented code fusion because they need to do the fire totem, whatever. And then I love that rooftop fight where he's just like, magic. I should look into that.
Hey, I'm just happy he kept his perfect record when it was all said and done.
You're happy he killed somebody?
Sure. Damien's got to have things to hang his hat on. He has a perfect record.
The
guy was dead anyways.
He's got a daughter.
The guy was dead anyways. Historically, he was already dead.
Because he killed him the first time.
If you let him live, it's a temporal loop or a temporal... I can't remember. It's from
He
Star
could've
Trek
made
that
the
makes everything go
world a better
crazy.
place.
Well...
Yeah, but that's an anachronism.
Yeah.
And Ray blowing up the Berlin Wall to get the Legends' attention is ripping the space-time thing.
Well,
so
Back to the Future is an anachronism, and we were all rooting for Marty and Doc Brown.
Can you imagine the anachronism you have if cold fusion gets invented in 1962?
Yeah, it's Earth 2. It's good.
Is it? Humans are not smart when it comes to our technology on a lot of things. We'll find a way to blow ourselves up with cold fusion, probably.
Probably.
that's what we do. But really, just how fun was it to watch Damien with Damien Chris?
Oh, it was delightful. I mean, I don't know how well it would have worked if Neil McDonough just wasn't able to do the playful quips and things like that on screen like he did, and to talk about, oh, I'm going to go kick my own ass and stuff like that. I just don't know if it would work with some actors. Neil McDonough can kind of do that wink and a nod to everyone, and you're like, haha, this guy's got it. He's great.
SP?
The Damien on Damien stuff was fun, obviously. And Neil McDonough, by the way, I go way back to Band of Brothers because Neil McDonough was in Band of Brothers, and that's the area piece that I understand him from, which was in the 40s. It was World War II. So him being in the 60s, a little bit older, reminds me of the same character that he played in Band of Brothers, but 20 years later. I know it's not the same character, I get it, but Damien has a way of just portraying a fun character. And he was an out-and-out assassin, part of the League of Assassins. He's been paying a lot of money to go out and do this. And then older Damien, he's in a weird spot because he's died. He's been brought back to life by his daughter, and he is just trying to do stuff for his daughter in his second chance. That's his whole focus. So in order for him to do that, he's got to fight himself. And yes, himself is younger, stronger, faster, whatever, but he's older, more wiser, and knows what's going to happen because he was him in 1962, and he's got a great memory. So it's fun trying to see him trying to outfox himself, especially on the rooftop when he's holding up Nora, and he's just trying to hold on to Nora the whole time. And finally, Nora's like, hey, Dad, don't worry about it. I'll be okay. I'm going to fall 4 or 5 stories, but you know what? Something will save me. It's not going to be a big deal. And go ahead and take care of business. And then you have the full-on Damien versus Damien fight on the rooftop. That was fun to watch.
But in the grand scheme of things, is a 60-year-old Damien really that much younger when you're 297 years old?
He went back and forth. He was 275. He was 199. He was all over the place in terms of age.
I've lost track of how old I am, and I'm 34, so I can't imagine
do not talk to me about age, all right? You are like 15 years younger than I am.
All I'm saying is I can understand how if you're 290 some odd years old, you might forget exactly how old you are.
Are you telling me that Damien Dark is suffering from some sort of dementia?
No, I'm more just thinking at a certain point, the birthdays don't matter anymore. So you're like, I'm a year older, I guess. I don't remember how old I am because this is what's happened to me. I got corrected by my mother at one point in time. I was like, yeah, I'm 33. She goes, no, you're 34. And I paused and went, oh, okay, I guess I'm 34. Seriously. I mean, I could see how it could happen.
Enjoy those 30s, buddy, because 50's coming right around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, SP. I appreciate that. Now I'm sad and depressed.
What do we think about the Ray-Nora dynamic? I thought that was kind of rom-com cute in a way.
It was, and it had kind of, I don't know if this is the best way to equation, a Mr. and Mrs. Smith vibe almost, because if you guys saw that movie with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, they find out they're spies on the opposite side of things. So they're enemies, but they have to work together, and then they eventually kind of resolve things in that movie. It kind of had that vibe where we have to work together, we're on the opposite side of things, and then there's this kind of romantic tension between the two of us too, because Ray has the hots for her.
There's a little bit more to it than that, because they have been with each other basically since Nora was a little girl, right? They popped in and out of each other's lives back and forth. So there's a little bit of Ray being protectorate. And because of that, it's a little creepy, just a little bit. But Nora is a different person than she was when she was younger. And I don't know. This is not a Romeo and Juliet sort of thing. It's not a Mr. and Mrs. Smith sort of thing. She is evil. And just by being around him, has good being rubbed off on her, but we know what happens. So you can hope, I guess, at this point. That's the best way to say it. You have hope after this episode.
I think it's a fun dynamic. I think some of Courtney Ford and Brandon Routh's real life chemistry bleeds over, rather, because remember, they are married in real life.
And it's a wonder they're not divorced after playing against each other on the TV.
Good grief. One of the things that I've noticed is I think Damien is starting to regret putting his little girl into the arms of a demon. Yes, it brought him back to life, but it seems as though when he's talking to the dead guy, that perhaps that wasn't the best thing to do to a young girl.
Yeah, I don't even think you can say this is a matter of hindsight. He should have known that to begin with, that it was a poor idea.
Yeah, but all his ideas have been poor ideas. He's an evil egomaniac. So, I mean, he just wants to rule the world. And now he wants to rule the world to give that gift to his daughter. And it hasn't changed at all. But yes, I think he's getting to the point, especially at the end of the episode, when she's got the Mollis. Yes, we were corrected at the beginning of this episode, by the way. Mollis. Mollis is black streaks across her face. So there is transformation. She wasn't fully transformed. The red went away from her eyes, but it's clear that there's a transformation that's about to take place.
And this is the episode where we learn that the totems were made to keep Mollis in this prison where time has no meaning. And that's why they want the anachronisms to happen, because once time is destroyed, Mollis can come out and do the evil stuff.
Get his evil on.
Yeah, the Zambezi women coming together and really kind of understanding what's at stake here now. That was cool, because I would say that from time to time, the whole Amaya storyline has been a little bit long in the tooth. We've all commented on it. And it was good for it to come to a nexus in this episode, because we got some real purpose of what Amaya was doing on the show this season. And that was good. But we didn't get a resolution. It was more of an acknowledgement of this is what needs to happen. And it wasn't just the Zambezi women. You know, you still have other things going on. I think at this point in the season, this episode, I remember thinking about this last week post show, we were talking about it, and it's like, it's just them going back to 1962. There's so much more going on. You've got Rip and Wally coming back on the team. You've got Amaya and what's her name, Ava's relationship really taking off. The only detriment to this episode is Mick he didn't really have a huge part in this episode, but everybody else did. So it was an amazing key back and forth. You even had Gideon playing a key role.
I do like the episode starts with Sarah and Ava's, morning after.
Yeah, why not? I mean, we're all adults here. Yeah. Unfortunately, Zari puts her foot in her mouth.
Which is pretty damn funny, though.
I think Gary calls. Gary it's really weird with Gary. Sometimes Gary makes things better, and sometimes Gary's just Gary.
Yeah, he's a good mascot for everything, though.
I hear he's hilarious in cons. I forget the actor's name, but I hear he's really playing it up and everything. So it's good that the show and the fans watching the show have really seen the greatness in the Gary character. I mean, just last episode, he was Depants. I think that was unnecessary. We talked about that last week, but I mean, everybody else thinks it's funny. I'm just not 19 anymore. And, I'm 30 years older. So,
well, they were drunk, and it was kind of funny when you're drunk.
Yeah, but poor Gary, man, he deserves better.
But Gary does get a promotion, and so does Ava, because Grodd decides to kill the director of the Time Bureau.
Oh my God. It's Grodd, actually.
Yeah, that was kind of graphic. I'm glad we didn't get to see it, but you know that, what the actor that played the director, I'm trying to remember his name. He's actually in a lot of the sci-fi, the skiffy stuff. And yeah, he just gets pummeled. So we don't have to worry about him anymore. And I think that opens up that in of itself opened up the whole Ava storyline that's going to permeate into this upcoming season that we're going to see here too, we've been told. And you have the ominous Sarah can never know about her past. I'm not so sure, by the way, that we know everything about Ava's past. I mean, we know the big secret or a big secret, but I don't think we know everything about Ava.
Yeah, that becomes an episode, which is a very intriguing episode.
Yep. Well, I won't spoil anything yet, but yeah, it is.
Chris, is there anything else about the episode you'd like to talk about?
Wally's a fun little addition, and him coming up at the end, stealing the broken fire totem out of Damien's pocket, and then when he comes in and saves Ray, and you get Damien just going, "I hate speedsters." I'm like, yeah, that works after last season.
I was going to bring that up. Speedsters. I hate speedsters.
SP?
I think I've said everything. Yeah, I'm good.
I like Sarah's speech to Wally about how when the legends have met each other, they've always been like bad first impressions, and they're like the kings and queens of bad first impressions.
Ain't that the truth?
They're a bunch of misfits, and they forgive each other. And you know, Mick's betrayed us like 10 times, but hey, that's who we are.
At least 10 times, yeah. Yeah, we give Dominic Purcell, we give him a lot of credit, but yeah, his character gets a lot of crap. I think they've done great in morphing his character and growing his character over time. I think Dominic Purcell, I hope he's having fun playing the character because it comes across as a lot of fun for us watching.
I bet he is. I don't think he would still be on the show if he wasn't having any fun.
Unless the pay is really good.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. He does have the 24 gig opening back up.
This is an ensemble cast, so I'm not sure the pay is going to be that great when you got to pay everyone. I'm sure it's good, but I'm not sure it's enough to be like, I hate my life, but I want to keep getting paid this sweet money.
Yeah, how many cons does he go to? I have no idea, but he might be getting some of that sweet con money because these spoilers, when these actors go to cons, they're not showing up just because they want to meet their fans. They're actually getting paid to be there. They often sign a lot of autographs, so get paid for that. And it's free travel for them. But it's at a busy time, usually at a busy time in their annual schedule, because it's normally when they're shooting something. I just alluded to the fact that Dominic Purcell is actually on the reboot or continuation or whatever it is of 24. So he's doing Legends of Tomorrow and 24. So he's shooting two series in the year. That's a lot of time. And then to add on that, like cons and stuff like that, yes, he's making money, but it could turn into burnout depending on how much he's actually doing. So I have no idea how many cons he does. I'm just assuming he shows up at a few.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either. But either way, I think he's having fun. And, you know, Mick's always one of our favorites.
He gets the best lines.
Well, we will see if he gets any good lines next week when we cover Amazing Grace, which is season 3, episode 14. It originally aired March 12, 2018. The legends embark on a mission to save music when they learn that a tragedy destroyed Memphis in 1954. It's directed by David Geddes, written by Matthew Mala and Tyrone Carter.
Memphis. Walking in Memphis. Can't wait to get back there. All right, let's get on into the news. Live from the Starling Tribune main news desk on floor 52 of Starling Tribune Tower, it's the weekly news roundup with award-winning chief news anchor Michelle Ely. And now, Michelle Ely.
Thanks, SP. To start us off, Chris has some news about the theme of Arrow Season 7.
That's right. Beth Schwartz has been making the rounds and talking about Season 7 of Arrow, her first as the showrunner, and had given some insight into what the theme is this season in Season 7. She says the theme for Season 7 is redemption. As you'll see since last season when Oliver outed his identity, the city is a little bit mixed about how they feel about the Green Arrow. This was all revealed at San Diego Comic-Con. She continues and says, so his whole season is about redemption, and all the characters will touch on that as well. So, redemption. One way to redeem oneself is by paying your debt to society. That's probably the first step.
I thought the theme of this season was going to be dark.
Well, I don't think these are mutually exclusive. I think you can redeem yourself, but have to go through some heavy crap.
Okay, I guess, but in my opinion, dark means a lot of death and destruction, not necessarily redemption.
Look at Gaius Baltar's arc. He kind of redeemed himself in the end, and he went through and did some heavy stuff.
Did he? I mean, there was Head Baltar, but that was different.
True. But Oliver is in prison, and there's that whole idea that when you do a prison stint, like when you come out, have you paid your debt, and should you, be allowed to be on the road to redemption? And this is a Arrowverse show. They love their redemption arcs. We're going to see if we're going to get a Black Siren one next year.
Okay,
boy.
They do love their redemption arcs right before they kill somebody.
Well, this is also true.
Are they going to kill Oliver Queen?
They might. Who knows?
Well, they might. Yeah, it's the end of his contract. We talked about that before.
Well, I mean, remember, no one can actually stay truly dead on this stuff when you have a sister show that's all about time travel. And there's alternate universes. So while someone might die.
Okay, character's death versus actor death. I mean, it's two different things. And no, I'm not talking about actors actually dying. I'm talking about actors playing another version of the character from another Earth or another dimension or whatever.
True. Okay, speaking of the Arrowverse, have crossover news, and it's about Lois Lane. It seems like the CW will be sticking close to the classic interpretation of Superman's iconic love interest. The show is looking to cast a Caucasian woman in her early 30s as Lois Lane. Described as the daughter of U.S. General Sam Lane, Lois is a tenacious, righteous, and stubborn reporter who will go to any length to get the story and almost never fails. The breakdown reveals that she will appear in the Flash and Supergirl episodes of the crossover event, meaning that the Arrow portion won't feature her, which I think they're still going over to the Supergirl world.
I don't remember what happened with General Sam Lane. I know he appeared on Supergirl. I have no idea I can't remember what happened with the character. Michelle, do you remember?
No.
Yeah, because Lois's sister, of course, was on Supergirl for a while. I would agree with you based on what we've learned that they are going over to the Supergirl universe. That would explain Superman and everybody else that's going to be in the crossover. But yeah, Sam Lane, it would be good to see him again, but I don't remember how he left. So.
And in general DC news, DC Universe streaming platform has officially announced its launch date. On DC Daily, hosted by Kevin Smith, it was revealed that the service would be available from September 15th, which just happens to be Batman Day. Next month, fans will be able to begin streaming exclusive content such as Titans, Young Justice Outsiders, the Harley Quinn animated series, as well as Doom Patrol, and the James Wan-produced Swamp Thing. Also, Constantine, because Constantine, I just learned, has been pulled from CW Seed. In addition, subscribers will have access to classic DC shows and movies, including Batman Begins, the Christopher Reeve Superman films, Lois and Clark, The Adventures of Superman, Batman, the animated series, Super Friends, and the recently released DC animated features. And before we went to air, I also learned that it's going to be $7.99 a month. So that traditional $8. So Michelle is right. She keeps keep doing her rotating $8 thing between like CBS All Access and Hulu and everything. So there you go. That $8, you can just keep rotating it month after month after month.
But will it have Batman Beyond? Because that's the important thing. For those that don't know what that is, that's a cartoon series that took place 30, 40 years after Batman the Animated Series, where Bruce Wayne was an older gentleman who was basically the mentor to a new Batman, which was awesome, by the way. Batman Beyond's fantastic. Go watch it if you haven't, guys.
I meant to share this with you guys, but there was a internet meme that I ran into that had a picture of Michael Keaton right next to that depiction of Bruce Wayne, and that would be a great live action series to bring Michael Keaton back to play that same character now, as he's the old man, as the new Bruce Wayne, or the new old Bruce Wayne, or whatever. I think for a live action series, that would be pretty cool for him to do. I have no idea if he has the time in his schedule, the desire, or if there's even any desire to put a live action Batman Beyond series out there, but that would be cool. Guys, I'm a little bit old here, and I'm looking at the list of stuff here, and the only thing that would interest me would be the Christopher Reeve Superman films, and I don't think that's going to drive me to pay $8 a month for this, but I am older than you guys, so at least I'm older than you, Chris. So what do you guys think? I mean, are you interested in doing an $8 a month thing to get this stuff?
There are 3 words that tempt me here. Young Justice Outsiders. I'm a huge fan of the Young Justice cartoon. I was a big evangelist for it, trying to get people to watch it on Netflix, watch it when it was live, so that they would continue to do the show. So I'm very conflicted over the fact it's coming to a pay service that I don't necessarily want to get other than just for this television show.
Again, I think it's when something's all out and then binge it for that $8. Maybe, but not as an ongoing subscription. Not right now.
Now, I did make a statement, I believe, on a Gonna Geek show a month ago or so, and I said that I would not be interested in doing any of the rotation like you were talking about, Michelle. I kind of had to eat my words a little bit, because in preparation for doing an episode of The Basement over on the Ear Glue Media Network, I watched all of The Greatest American Hero, which I had to go get an app called Con TV for Convention. I finally figured out what that was, by the way, Convention TV. Now, it was a free month, and I didn't owe any money, but if I did, it would have been $4.99. But I got all 45 episodes in under that month time frame. So I have done it, but I don't think I'll be repeating that too much more. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, you can also try to get free trials, different email addresses for CBS All Access, so you can watch Star Trek Discovery.
Or you can subscribe through Amazon.
I had been considering that because of the recent announcements, but then I fall back on I need it to have 3 successful seasons before I watch it. So unfortunately, that's catching me right now. So that's making me wait another year, basically.
I'll be watching the Picard series when it comes out, I admit it.
Especially if you have Bosch on it, right?
Yeah, well, mostly just because Patrick Stewart's the man.
Well, okay, that was a little bait to you, because I meant for you to say, no, not Vosh. I'm talking about the Q.
Yeah, I do think John Delancey's going to show up, and it'll be amazing.
I just want it to be Picard on his, winery, doing things like that, and Troy comes along, and then they reminisce about crashing the Enterprise all the time. Be great.
I think Picard's going to be Indiana Jones, basically, in space.
That'd be cool. It'd be cool. Although he's old. He's getting, how old is he? He's 80 something now, right?
Patrick Stewart, I thought he was like 72 or something like that.
Really? Still 70s. I mean,
so is Harrison Ford, and he just did an Indiana Jones movie.
And he broke his leg in the Star Wars stuff.
Look, Patrick Stewart bathes in the blood of the young, or whatever it is. I mean, he says it's carrot juice, but I think it's the blood of the young. Whatever. He looks the exact same. No, take a picture of him now and him in Star Trek Next Generation. He looks the same. Do that with Jonathan Frakes.
Yeah. Patrick Stewart's 78, and he does not look like he's aged more than like 2 or 3 years since the beginning of Star Trek TNG.
And I have to caveat that with, it doesn't look like he's had plastic surgery. Now, there is a lot of actors and actresses in Hollywood, and no, he's British, but in Hollywood, that have clearly had plastic surgery to try to make themselves look different or younger or whatever. I hate that. just let yourself age, and I want to see you age. I don't want to see your skin stretched out and all that crap. No, thank you. So, yeah, Patrick Stewart's an anomaly, though. He's been amazing for... How long has he looked like that? 30 years? 40 years? It's at least 30 years.
Long time.
Yeah.
He's had that look, and he's just gone with it because it works for him.
When was Dune filmed?
I have no idea.
So he looked
something, right?
He looked the same in Dune. So you're talking 40 years. Wow.
I know. It's so weird when I saw him at hair at one time and such. It's like, that's not him. Take off the hair. Take off the hair.
84. Dune. Well, Dune came out in 84. It might have been filmed in 82 or 83.
You know, they're redoing part of Dune, right?
Part of Dune? No.
Yeah, they're adapting part of it, I think, and then saving the rest for something else, or maybe another movie or TV series. I don't know what it is.
Are they stretching the one movie into 5 now?
No, I don't know. I don't think Peter Jackson's part of it.
Okay.
Well, we are, I know we got a little off a tangent. Sorry, folks. But hey, it's one of those days. It's summer. Still summer, technically. So yay. And, you know, if you want to hear other talkings about geeky things, whether on topic or off topic, you can listen to one of the other shows of the GonnaGeek.com network. And Chris, what's a show that we have?
So we have a lot of different shows in the network, and each week we try to highlight a different one and say, hey, you guys might like this one. And I believe last week we talked about Game Life Balance US. This week we're going to talk Game Life Balance Australia. We're going to the other side of the world, guys, for episode 66, entitled Breakout Kink Shaming. This week our featured game is the Breakout clone Wizorb, mainly because Rob wanted to talk about Breakout, but that game is very hard to emulate properly. So grab a firm hold of your paddles and balls because it's going to get bouncy. And if you think that last line was dripping with sexual innuendo, just wait until you listen to the rest of this podcast, wherein our hosts discuss Rob's breakout fetish, the surprisingly good PS2 game The Simpsons Road Rage, hacked handheld consoles, and the impending time travel-related murder of someone called Gary Gygax. Sounds like they've got a lot of stuff going on in this episode of Game Life Balance Australia. Rob and AC, we always enjoy your shenanigans. So I don't know about you guys. I'll be checking that out. And if you're watching or listening to this podcast, I highly encourage you go check out the latest episode of Game Life Balance Australia. All that means
I would definitely pay attention to these Australia shows because the Gonna Geek Network is being invaded by Australia.
Worldwide. We're worldwide now.
We are indeed worldwide. We need somebody over on the other side of the pond, though, over in Great Britain or
Jolly
Ireland
old
or
England.
something like that. Yeah.
Well, guys, looking at the time, it is time for us to start wrapping up this episode of the Starling Tribune. A big thank you to everyone who did participate in the chat room over at geeks.live, but also a thank you to everyone who downloads the episode, the audio versions of the episode, over at starlingtribune.com or catches the YouTube replays at youtube.com/GonnaGeek.
And if you happen to have an Amazon device, you can enable our podcast as a skill. Yes, we have our very own skill. All you have to do is say the activation word and enable the Starling Tribune, and you will then have the Starling Tribune as a skill. Also, remember, you can catch us live as we record at www.geeks.live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern and 4:30 p.m. Pacific on Thursdays. And you can join our live chat, and you can basically chide us on any time that we get off topic or join in the fun, one of the two, and we would welcome to have you there.
We would love to hear from you. We're the Starling Tribune on Facebook and Instagram, at Starling Tribune on Twitter, and you can call us at 612-888-CAVE. That's 612-888-2283. This brings us to the end of another great episode. Any last words before we sign off? At Stargate Pioneer.
Hashtag, I hate speedsters.
At the Chris Farrell.
Hashtag, light souvenir thievery.
And I am at Michelle Ely, signing off with hashtag, Ray, come do my dishes. Oracle, I think we're done here.
This was the Starling Tribune. You can leave us feedback at GonnaGeek.com or check out our archive at StarlingTribune.com. Visit GonnaGeek.com for more podcasts. Music by Kevin MacLeod can be found at incompetech.com. This podcast is not produced or maintained by the CW, Warner Brothers Television, CTV, or DC Comics. All characters, stories, and situations are the property of Time Warner. No infringement is intended. We will see you for the next episode of CW's Arrow.